It was 6:03 a.m. when Maria Alvarez stood outside the towering glass gates of Langston Manor, the mansion that loomed over the small town like a monument to greed. Locals called it the Ice Castle. Not because it was cold, but because its owner, billionaire tech tycoon Grant Langston, was said to have a heart of ice. For years, no one lasted more than a week working inside. Housekeepers quit after one day. Gardeners walked off mid-shift. Nannies cried in the driveway. The job came with an absurdly high paycheck, but a reputation for breaking people. And yet, Maria stood there, clutching her second-hand purse, a folder of references, and a promise to her daughter she intended to keep: "Mama is going to find us a way out." Maria had spent the past 2 years cleaning offices at night and waitressing during the day, barely scraping enough to keep the lights on. Her husband's sudden passing had left a hole in her heart and an avalanche of debt on their doorstep. When she saw the Langston job post, offering $10,000 a month just for housekeeping, she didn't hesitate. The butler, an aging gentleman named James, looked her over and sighed. "You seem like a good woman. But the boss doesn't keep good people around for long." Still, Maria entered the mansion, determined. The house was pristine, silent, and cold, but what struck her most wasn't the beauty of the place. It was the loneliness. Despite its grandeur, the mansion felt empty. Lifeless. Like no one had laughed here in years. Then she met him. Grant Langston. Tall. Sharp-suited. Sharp-tongued. He didn't say hello. He didn't look her in the eye. Just walked past her, dropped a pen on the floor, and muttered, "Pick it up. Let's see how long you last." Maria bent down, picked it up calmly, and handed it to him with a soft smile. "I'm here to work, Mr. Langston. Not to impress you." He smirked. "We'll see." Days turned into weeks. Maria stayed. She ignored his harsh comments, answered every bell, and treated the mansion like her own home. But she also listened. Every time he barked an order or criticized her cooking, she listened. Because underneath his arrogance, she saw something else. Pain. She noticed he never looked at family photos. That the west wing of the mansion remained locked. That every evening at precisely 8:30 p.m., he stood alone by the grand piano but never played it. One night, Maria left a single yellow tulip on the piano with a note. "Music heals the soul. Even when you think it can't." She didn't expect a response. But the next morning, the tulip was in a vase. And for the first time, Grant nodded at her. Over dinner service one evening, the silence broke. Grant asked, "Do you have children?" Maria smiled. "A daughter. 6 years old. Bright as the stars, and braver than I'll ever be." He looked away. "I had a daughter once." The room went still. She would have been 7 last month. Died in a car accident with her mother. "I built this mansion hoping money could fill the void. All it did was make me colder. Angrier. I pushed everyone away. Including myself." Maria's voice was gentle. "Grief doesn't vanish, Mr. Langston. But kindness, it makes the weight lighter." He looked at her for a long time. "Call me Grant." The next week, Maria came in to find the entire staff assembled in the foyer. Grant stood before them, papers in hand. "I'm changing things," he announced. Effective immediately, full medical benefits, doubled wages, and mandatory time off for all staff. Also, he turned to Maria. "I'm starting a foundation in my daughter's name. A place where single mothers can find shelter, jobs, and dignity. Maria will run it. If she says yes." Maria froze. I don't know anything about running a place like that." Grant smiled, a real smile. "You know how to care for people. The rest, I can teach." Tears welled in her eyes. "Yes. I'll do it." 1 year later, Maria stood outside the brightly painted building that now bore a simple sign, Sophia's Haven, named after Grant's daughter. Dozens of women filled the halls, learning, healing, laughing. Grant visited often, always with a quiet reverence. He and Maria remained friends, unlikely, but unbreakable. Maria had taken the job nobody wanted. Not for wealth. Not for glory. But because she refused to give up on life, or on the goodness she believed still existed in others. And in doing so, she didn't just change her story. She changed his. Because sometimes, all it takes is one act of quiet courage to thaw even the coldest hearts. And one person willing to care, to change the world.